Impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and influence.
Positivity and change.
Impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and influence.
The authors about to do their thing.
You know they got the book club, Authors Association. You better know the author show is always captivating. Impact and influence. Impact and influence. Impact and
The
influence.
authors about to do their thing.
Well, hello and welcome to the Impact and Influence Author Show. Your host, Rhonda Knight. I have a beautiful young lady in the studio today. You're going to love to hear from her. She is such a waymaker. She's a trailblazer. Let me just put it that way. And I'm excited to share her with you. Now, remember, this is the time I always ask you to go and make sure you share this interview with someone that you want to be a blessing to. So go ahead and do that right now. And remember, you also can make comments or ask questions of our guests or me at any point. So be sure to post it. We'll be able to see it live and we'll be able to incorporate your post. Okay. Well, I'd like to welcome to the show a beautiful young lady. As I said, she's the author among all the other things that she does, but her name is Kearn Crockett-Cherry. Hey, Kearn, how you doing today?
I am great. Thanks for having me, Rhonda.
Oh, thank you for being here. I know you have a crazy busy schedule. You're like me. We're always doing something. I don't even know. We need like quadruplet twin sisters, right?
Yep.
To get everything done. Yes. Well, Kearn, I'm going to ask you a question. I always ask this of all my authors. Who is Kearn?
Well, outside of just my regular personal life from business side, I'm a person who loves creating events. They call me the Butts in the Seat Queen. I've been producing them for over 20 plus years now.
Awesome. You were 10 you started, huh?
Huh?
You started at 10? I like to tell myself that.
And so I've been doing it and having fun with events for a long time now. A lot of people know me as one of the co-founders and directors of Success Women's Conference, the creator of Level Up and Power Up Summit, and many other events that I've done previously as well. I'm also now number 17 number one best-selling author.
Awesome. 17.
And so for me,
I told him 17, not just 17 books, but she said 17 bestseller.
Number one.
17 bestseller number one books. Okay. Now that tells you need to get these books. So I want you to pay really close attention to what she has to say.
All right. Yes, and I have fun with it. It's something that God has me on the process of doing, because really and truly, I often tell people, look, I'm not that person that you're going to hear. I love journaling. I love writing and all that stuff. That is not me. I'm the person who was called to do it, something God has called me to do, because what I do well is create stages for other people to share their message. And if you think about an anthology or a book, you really are sharing your message, your testimony. And typically we're sharing a piece of something we went through and the journey on how we got on the other side successfully. And so I've been fortunate enough as a person who helps people become visible to use that gift and talent and help them to actually share that out to the world. Because a lot of times we're speaking to the same people that already know our story.
Right.
And so, which is like, as the Bible says, a prophet isn't always appreciated in his backyard. So you just preaching to the choir, and they're not really listening.
Right.
They think they already know you. And so, I started doing anthologies, really doing as a visionary, right as COVID began, as a pandemic began. And I'm now starting on my fourth one. So that's just part of what I do. I help people create their own profitable events. And I also help people increase their visibility as
Awesome.
well.
Awesome. That is so unselfish of you, and I love it. And when you're assigned, and when there's a purpose, and God says, "Hey, listen, I need you to do this for me because I know what you want to do, but this is what I need you to do as part of your purpose on this earth." You have to listen and be obedient. And what would you say to people who don't understand walking in their purpose? They don't even know what their purpose is. What is something for you that let you know that this is truly what God is saying to me? This is the thing that he wants me to do.
Well, like I said, I've been doing events for all over 20 years now. In 2019, after one of our largest success events, it was big, 25 states represented, and almost 1,500 people in little old Biloxi, Mississippi. And so I still was not feeling fulfilled. And so I asked God then, well, what should I do? I'm like, I need something else. And so, and then he gave me Power Up, which I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that, because he was like, go back to doing your own events. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, Lord. I've been doing events anyway, so this is good. And then he gave me book anthologies. And I said, well, I don't know about that, Lord. You got to be talking to the wrong person. But then he sent somebody. He sent me a young lady who just pushed me. She was like, oh, you can do it. You know people and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, not really. And this is just not something I'm comfortable. And she was like, oh, yeah, you can do it. I'm here, blah, blah, blah. And so from that, I literally wound up with, it was 30 of us with Gloria Mayfield Banks as the forward. And those women literally have gone on to create their own, several of them have their own anthologies, time 4 or 5. And then many have created their own events, their own magazines, their own, just all kind of extra businesses. So I'm like, okay, Lord, so that's what, okay, I get it. So then comes Make It Happen, because the first one was Trailblazers Who Lead one. So Make It Happen. I was like, okay, Lord, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And I had been sitting on this title for many years, right? And at least 15 to 16 of it. And I was like, okay, this is the title. And so I had one person sign up real quick, and then it was crickets. Okay. And I was like,
not the crickets.
The real crickets came in. And so I was like, okay, I was literally sitting on my couch one day, and I'm not a morning person, but I was up that morning. And I was thinking, Lord, is this the right title? I'm just thinking it in my head. And literally, I go on Facebook, and it pops up on the screen. And he shall make it happen. Isaiah 60:22. And so I go to Google, and I'm like, let me make sure this is actually a scripture, And then it pops up everywhere. And I said, oh, awesome. Okay, Lord, this is obviously you sending me the signal. This is what I have for you to do. So where you thought it was your idea, your title, it was actually me. And so I'm sitting there like, wow. And then he sent the authors. They just come out of nowhere. And I was like, look, ask and you shall receive. I often tell people, closed mouths just don't get fed. And so I learned then that, once again, he was just confirming, I have you doing this. This is not about you. It is not your journey. It is it's the path I have you on. You're just a vessel that's being used. And yes, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for me all the time. I fight all the time to push out chapters. People will say, Kearn, can you do a forward? Can you write a chapter? And I'm like, if you only knew the struggle. But
well, I'm blessed with me, Kearn, because things flow for me. It's like when I get in that mode, the first thing I always do though when I'm writing, I'm like, okay, Holy Spirit, lead me. I don't care if I'm writing about my story, my life or whatever it is I'm writing about. I'm like a children's book. God lead me. And so things do flow for me. I don't think I've had any writer's blocks yet, thank God. But let me ask you,
That's
what
because
Mhm.
is that your gift though? Do you feel like
It
it's your
is.
gift?
Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of my gifts. Yes.
Yeah, see,
And
and
that could be it.
I did not feel like it was my gift. And
Mhm.
even to this day, I realize that it's my visibility, the gift to help people become visible, which
Mhm.
is the part that's allowing me to help people with their books and
Yes.
their chapters and just sharing. God says you're supposed to give a testimony,
Mhm.
and it's not that he needs us to get the glory, but it is about him getting the glory,
Amen.
you
That's
know? And
true.
so he talks about, if you go back and read about the Israelites coming out of Egypt, God made it known. He said, I'm doing this so people will know that I am God. Now
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? He
Yes.
didn't have to do it,
Mm-mm.
but he wants you to know that it's
Without a
him.
shadow of a doubt.
Yes,
Well, Karen,
yes.
let me ask you, what is Make It Happen about? I know you run several writers with you in this. And what is it about? How does it help the reader?
Well, for me, the stories that are shared in there, and there are a
Hmm.
few that I often refer to as one young lady, one young guy that's in the book, and he talks about how he tried to commit suicide 3 times,
Hmm.
and then on the other side of all that, and he's only like 26, but
Wow.
on the other side of all that, he now has several businesses and things like that because he didn't, even though he tried to give up on himself, God showed him that he had a purpose,
Hmm.
and that was a reason for him still being here. And God always will show you how to make it happen. So now he's a successful young man
I know. Sweet
that's
Elizabeth.
sharing his message and doing some amazing. He's got like 3 or 4 businesses and
Awesome.
stuff. And then some of the other people that are in it are talking about how they come through, some things that they struggled with. And even through all that, they were able to make it happen. And
Yes.
so there are different stories in there,
Hmm.
people who are determined, driven. I often like sharing more bibliography type stories from when I'm doing book anthologies and any kind of books, just
Hmm.
sharing a piece of who you are and
Yes.
why you and why you come through it, starting where you suffered from and then coming back around and showing how God has helped you through it.
That's right.
And so these people actually are sharing how now, even though they've gone through, many people share the story of abuse and child abuse, domestic violence, things like that, and then
Hmm.
showing people the other side on how they've still come through that, and then they're successful in what they're doing. That to me is powerful and encouraging for a lot of people. You
I
need to
definitely agree.
know that that you can come through some, even if it's devastating in your life.
Hmm. Now I know I heard you talk a little bit about Trailblazers Who
Mhm.
Lead, Unsung Heroes. What is this book all about? And then we're going to talk about the second one that's your latest release, and we'll talk about some upcoming an upcoming book you have too. But tell me what this is about and why you chose this title and did this particular book.
So Trailblazers was all about particularly women
Hmm.
have shared in this book. There are a lot of people silently leading,
Hmm.
and that's why we call them the unsung heroes. They're
Yeah.
creating things, they're lifting up other people. A few of the stories that I eventually sat down, and I actually knew these people, but I didn't know their story. And
Hmm.
so one of the young ladies that I had known for years, and she talked about her nonprofit called Comeback Coolers. And I was like, what in the, I said, you got what? She said, yeah, I have a nonprofit called Comeback Coolers. And she talked about how she started it out of a need that she saw from Hurricane Katrina, how there's normally no cold beer, no cold water, no cold, just an icy drink. And from that, people started piggybacking off of that. And it's now, she went from one cooler to giving out over 1,000 coolers of drinks free, going to different parts of the country and sharing it out. And then another friend of mine shared a story on how she got started making leather goods.
Okay.
And her story for me was just amazing because she went down from being a person working for a major airline, making major money. And she shared her story, how she went from that to zero. You got the black car, you got the Mercedes, you got all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's all taken away, right? And
Yes.
so she shared her story on how really God showed her a gift. Her family kept trying to pull her out of a depression. And then she literally started making art from bottles. And so her business is called All Bottled Up. But she now makes handmade leather jewelry, purses. She just posted the other day some crocodile shoes that she's getting ready to make. And I was like,
I might want to
really?
put some of hers in my boutique. I have Lady Knight's boutique. I may want to put some of her products in there.
When I tell you her stuff is amazing, I'm trying to see if I had anything near me to show you. But she does that, and then she teaches other people. She has classes and things, how she teaches others to be able to do that as well, and to learn their gifts and things like that as well. All these ladies are doing something that allows others to come up behind them. It's not just about them lifting themselves, but it's also about lifting others. Many talk about events that they've done that were done for the community. They saw a need and they decided to do it, but many people don't know that they're doing it, right? And so we wanted to celebrate some of these people who are making an impact in the world. But let's face it, I often say you're still the best kept secret because you didn't tell anybody else. You didn't share that message out with other people.
You definitely have to share.
So this is where it all started for me with the anthologies. And then this is the part 2 of the same series, the Trailblazers Who Lead #2. So we have another group of women who are sharing their powerful stories as well, how they are leading in an unsung way. And literally, I've had to talk to some of them recently, like, you got this shop over here, but does anybody know it exists? I mean, there's one of the ladies has her own art shop, art gallery, and all this stuff. And I'm like, you're featuring artists, but nobody knows that you're doing this. You've got to put this out there.
Definitely.
So again, another way of that women are just making an impact, but it's all silent behind the scene. And I often say, you just were not meant to be the best kept secret. You were meant to share your message out. You were meant to impact the world, not your community, the world, which is your community.
Yep. See the bigger picture. Well, Kearn, I'm excited because and to our viewing audience, Kearn Crockett-Cherry is also one of our featured authors for the Impact and Influence Authors Conference, which is coming up. I put some information up for you there. And the conference is April 1st through the 3rd, and that is weekend after next. So get ready. That's going to be at the Sonesta Hotel right in Duluth, Georgia on Pleasant Hill. This event is free for you, whether you come Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. The only thing that's not free is that elegant dinner you see right there. That, if you want to join us for dinner, is a reasonable price, and you can definitely join us for dinner. That's an intimate setting. You'll have a keynote speaker. You'll be able to mingle with our featured authors, talk to them in that intimate setting, and it's just a beautiful experience. during this conference. There's so many fun things that you can do. That's why this time I added it in there so you can see. There are author sessions. Kearn will be speaking, and so you can hear her speak more about her books and those 17 #1 bestseller books that she's a part of. And just get some inspiration from her. We also have a authors panel, and during that authors panel, you can ask questions of all our authors with a Q&A going on there. A writer's workshop. There is ministry. Prophet Shields. Hey, Prophet Shields, how you doing today? Shout out to him. He is going to be doing the prophetic ministry on Sunday morning. And we also have the beautiful 2022 Impact and Influence Author of the Year Award Ceremony, black tie, red carpet event. Beautiful. And it's still free for you. So again, come on out. But I want you to go here first and register. Register at our website, LadyKnightEnterprisesPublishing.com. You can register there for the conference, for the dinner. You can come free. Even though you're coming free, you still have to register so we can have an accurate count of the number of guests, or you can come as VIP. Now, Kearn, you strike me as a woman like me that would love VIP. I'm a VIP girl. I want to be right there. I want to see everything. I want to hear everything. I want it all. Are you VIP? Is that
yes, I'm definitely a VIP person.
Okay.
Experience.
Awesome. Now, you don't have to be VIP like us, but if you want that extra, because you get gifts and all kind of fun stuff, and plus the best seats. But if you want to be VIP, you certainly can register there as well for VIP, or you can come to the event free. Remember, it's next weekend, coming up real soon, guys. Wonderful event. You're going to meet all kinds of wonderful authors like Kearn Crockett-Cherry, who is one of my dear friends. We just connected this year, but I love her personality and all the wonderful things she's doing. And the fact that she's taking time out to come and be a blessing to you, you want to be there. All her books are amazing. I would pick up a copy of each one, really, honestly, so you can be blessed. Bless your spirit. And like she said, she's trying to teach you how not to put things in a box and stop there. Let's see, if you got that gift in you and you're doing something, you need the world to know about it, not just your city, your friends, your family. You want to expand. So get her books. Definitely come out, get them signed by Kearn, and we would love to have you. Now, Kearn, let me ask you, what would it mean to you? Because we know that when our guests come out, by the way, guests, you do have the opportunity to choose who's going to be that first, second, and third place author of the year. And so we're excited that you have the opportunity to do that. So your voting is going to count. Now, Kearn, if you were to win the 2022 Impact and Influence Author of the Year award, what would that mean to you personally?
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm a person who, I've had to realize that part of what I do is writing and sharing my testimony. Sharing my testimony is really, the books allow me another way to share pieces of who I am. I often say you got 40 stories inside of you, at least, to share. So for me, it's just proof that other people value what I do and what I'm doing, and allowing others to be seen and being a part of other people's anthologies as well, and sharing a piece of who I am. So for me, it's an honor. It's just an honor to be recognized for my contributions and things like that. So I look forward to it. I can see you going to be there to place now. I like winning, of course, but I will support whoever that person is, because it is a really an honor to be recognized being the best at something that you're doing and contributing to. So I look at it as an honor. It's always an honor to be recognized for your works and your effort. So thank you for the opportunity to be a part of that.
Thank you for being a part of it. I'm excited to have you on board with all these wonderful authors. To my viewers, remember the impact and influence everything, whether it's the show, the conference, the association, the book club, because yes, you can be a part of the book club, and you can certainly sign up for the book club too at our website. Just look for the IIAA book club and be a part of that as well. You'll be able to read some of Kearn's books, because each of our featured authors this year will have the opportunity to have their book showcased with our book club members. So that's pretty awesome. Really, really awesome. But I want to tell you, you definitely want to be out there to be able to meet some of these wonderful authors. All of these authors write to impact and influence lives for positive change. That includes your life and anyone else that you bring with you and the ones that you share with. We're all about doing this out of a non-selfish way. We understand in this world is not about us, is what can we do to make a difference for others? And especially if it's something you feel that you're called to do, you certainly want to step into that calling. I'm actually going to be speaking this weekend on talking about how do you walk in your purpose even in the midst of the storm. And that's something I think is very important to know when you're looking for your purpose, or if you're already in your purpose, how do you continue to walk in that purpose with everything going on around you? But I got a great answer for you. But we'll talk about that later. But right now, I just want to say thank you to Kearn. I know she has another show to do, and I'm going to bring another beautiful author on too, right behind Kearn, just so that we don't make it too short of a show. But I really appreciate you, Kearn. Any last words that you want to say to our viewers?
Well,
wait, before you go, I do want to show them one thing though. Guys, she has this other new book coming up, and I'm excited about it too. Listen, Undefeated, Call for Authors. Now, tell us a little bit about this book, because I know what God has been saying to me about authors. So I want to hear what you have to say.
So for me, this is 100 women sharing their secrets of winning. And so I wanted to do something this year. I love collaborations. I think anthologies are the best way to collaborate. And so if I can bring a lot of women together to share and talk about how you have won at something. See, the reality is we all win. You know, we have losses too. But, you know, if you're a mother, you raise kids successfully, that's a win. Your job, career, your business, you know, your health challenges, you know, look, if you still breathing, I know you got a win in you somewhere. So I just wanted to put that all in the same anthology so that people can get encouraged through whatever they're going through. Somebody sharing their win, you can learn, you can glean from that. So so that's why I wanted to do it. Is you can go to undefeatedwomen.com and sign up, but it is a great opportunity. I'm going to use it and make it different than all my other anthologies. The experience. It's going to be about the experience, Rhonda.
Okay, good. Well, let me ask you, so you're still looking for some authors that you're going to incorporate in this book, this particular book? Okay, girl, you better call me and see what I got to say.
Yes, ma'am.
I will be in there with you. I don't mind. I love giving insight. And you know,
absolutely. I definitely, like I said, I'm looking for 100 women. So I would love to have you be a part of the project.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
Just a great opportunity to share.
Yes.
That's what I look at anthologies are anyway. But sharing and showing how you came through something undefeated.
Come on now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Look, we all have it. You know, the best way to do it is what you were talking about, walking in your purpose. When you walk in your purpose, it just seems like you might have hit a rock in the road, but you're able to move through it because you're walking in your gifts and your purpose.
So true. I love it. Yes. And I'm so proud of you again for all the wonderful things you're doing and just for listening and being obedient to God, even when it's something you're like, wait a minute, Lord, I don't know about that one now. But you still do it. You still do it. And that's the one thing I love. And I want our viewers to always understand that when you trust God, and even if you don't know God, just listen to us and say, well, Lord, you know, these people keep on talking about trusting you and knowing you and being led by you and finding our purpose. Guess what? Just talk to him. Tell him to make it clear for you. Tell him to make it really clear for you so you can do what we're doing and walk in that purpose and make a difference for others, because you're here for a reason. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you don't have a purpose or that you're no good or, you know, whatever, all the negativity. No. Get rid of that. And that's why I love this book, Undefeated, because It's people talking about how they made it through no matter what. They kept pushing. And that's something I talk to you guys about all the time. Don't give up. Don't stand still. Keep moving forward. The only time you stand still, if you hear a voice that says to you, be still and know that I am God, then God is saying be still for a moment. But if he's not saying that to you, keep moving forward. Right, Kearn?
That's correct. That's correct. There are times where he wants you to pause and wait on him.
That's right. That's right. Well, Kearn, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I love you. I love it. I look forward to seeing you in a weekend after next at the conference, and we shall talk soon. I'm going to bring in another young lady too, and I'm going to probably end your show and start her show over just so I can give her all the glory with her things as well. But I know she's been waiting patiently. I want to get a chance to say hi to her too. Let's see if I can.
All right. Appreciate it.
Okay, let's see. She's right there. If I can get this, let's see. Let me do it that way. Maybe. I told you my technology don't want to act right for me this morning. Let me take this picture down for a moment as well. Un momento. All right. See if I can get her. I don't know why. Jocelyn, can you hear me? Okay, make sure you walk in the studio. For some reason, it's not letting me bring you in. I know she said she can hear me. Did you click on everything you needed to click on? Well, while I'm working it out, Kearn, I'm not going to hold you, but I love you, and we'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. See you soon.
All right.
Guys, Kearn Crockett-Cherry, wonderful young lady. All right, now I can bring Jocelyn in. Let me go back to this. Hey, Jocelyn, thank you for waiting patiently. So what I want to do is I know Kearn had a deadline because she's got an event coming this weekend where she's speaking and presenting. And so I didn't know how much time we would have together, but we kind of almost really did the time frame of a show. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to end this show and I'm going to bring you right back in within about 5 minutes, guys. So stay tuned. We're going to bring Jaslyn Golson in. She's a wonderful author. She has 2 amazing books that I really want to find out the juiciness about them, because one of her covers, I'm like, whoa, that's terrible. But we'll learn about her at the moment. Okay, guys, we are going to be back. Remember to share this interview, this show on all your social media. So hopefully you've heard something today that will really make a difference for you. And stay tuned for this next show. Give me about 5 minutes to set everything back up for Jaslyn. And yes. I know your name gets messed up a lot, doesn't it?
It's all good.
Okay, good, great. And so we're going to be right back, guys, with Jaslyn, okay? All right. In the meantime, be blessed. And I appreciate each of you. See you in about 5 minutes.
Let me hear you say impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and influence,
Positivity and change.
impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and
The
influence.
authors about to do their thing.
You know they got the book club, Authors Association. You better know the author show is always captivating. Impact and influence, impact and influence, impact and
The
influence.
authors about to do their thing.